Yes, and we got Ryan Clark is back on ESPN less than 24 hours after being fired mid-show. There's no way this is real, bro. Let's do it.
What's going on
Okay,
there,
is it
guys?
muted?
Back with another one. We got to talk about this Ryan Clark situation a little bit more. Now, guys, just 24 hours or less than 24 hours after the news came
That
out
was
that
not
Ryan
enough
Clark was
to. Somebody was like, because he was uncomfortable. I did the video, but my mic was muted. But yeah, somebody was like, it's because he made him feel uncomfortable. Like, bro, my thing is like, who cares though? Like, he should have some type of hierarchy. Like, not crazy, but he should be respected. He played. So if he be like, that's the non-player in you, shit, why is he not viewed as the damn elite analyst? He's the one that actually played. So like, how is that how is it might be a little disrespect, maybe I guess, but he kept emphasizing the person I watched was that he made him uncomfortable. They was speaking for the dude or whatever. But I'm like, bro, so like he's right. Bro, we take people that played it more serious, bro. It is what it is.
24 hours or less than 24 hours after the news came out that Ryan Clark was fired on air during the taping of NFL Today. He's back on ESPN networks. That's right. He's on ESPN Plus. This footage I'm showing you right now comes from MEAC Media Day. It was announced earlier today, and obviously we see Ryan Clark doing his thing with them, and the pivot was up there to host media day, but it was on ESPN Plus. So I thought that was crazy, right? That the network that just let him go had another side deal already with the pivot cut. And really it shows the blueprint of how you should move going forward. Pat McAfee knows, I know a lot of people upset with Pat McAfee, but he has a licensing deal with ESPN where they can play his show. If you pay attention, you look at his show when it's live on ESPN. It's also live on YouTube. So that's the only way that you would want to partner with these networks and things like that. Now, Stephen A. and others came out and spoke out, and I have something to say to Stephen A. Smith. We're going to listen to a little bit of what he had to say. Let's check that out.
I don't know all those
Hold on.
details.
So it's like some pre-recorded thing. I'm thinking he just got his job back kinda or something. Like,
And to be quite honest with you, I don't care. What I care about is that my brother, Ryan Clark, a person that I consider to be arguably the best NFL analyst in America, is no longer a member of ESPN. And I can't even tell y'all how much that hurts. He's a man, and so he's going to handle it the way men do. And we understand that. But I'm going to miss him. I am not happy about this decision one bit. The bosses know I'm not happy about this decision. I've made that very, very clear.
okay then.
But it's also important that myself and anybody else in the world of business be grown-ups and understand that these are the kind of things that happen when layoffs happen. It's Tuesday, and by the end of this day, you're going to hear about a lot more folks getting laid off. People that are my colleagues, my contemporaries. For all I know, and I don't know the names yet, but for all I know, some more of my friends are going to be gone. The only thing that I can definitively say to you is that there's nobody that's going to be let go that was more of a friend and a brother to me than Ryan Clark.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't know how many times I have to say this.
I don't feel sicker for Ryan than I do anybody else that is going to lose their job or has lost their job, but I do want to advocate for a guy that I actually don't think I've ever even met in person. He was on yesterday when he found out he was being let go, and that's Ryan Clark. I think he's very talented. We have a lot of mutual friends, all of whom vouch for him, and as an added little bonus, the people who dislike him the most are some of the worst, most disingenuous various charlatans around, so that makes me like him even more. I don't have ESPN's books. I don't know the tough decisions they had to make. I'm not even sitting here saying it's outrageous that that is one of the people you decided to cut. Companies have to make decisions that companies have to make. This should have been handled better. And my guess is everyone involved knows it.
Now I'm going to get to Stephen A. Smith in a moment, but I do want to look back at something Ryan Clark expressed when he was negotiating his deal with ESPN once upon a time, and how they didn't even value him at the time. Let's take a look at that.
This started 3 years ago. I did my ESPN deal. It wasn't what I wanted. You know, like I realized, I was like, I had to do more. And like honestly, I felt played. And you know, the worst thing for anybody that's from New Orleans is to feel played. But I felt like I deserved something that they didn't feel like I deserved. And so I set out that day and I said that day, that in 3 years, I'll be the best in the world doing this. That there'll be no stone left unturned. I leave no doubt that there was nobody in the world that was like me.
Now, I want to go back to this Stephen A. Smith infamous tweet where he said, I wake up every morning with two thoughts. Number one, how do I make my bosses more money? And two, how do I get some of it? Obviously, being a worker, you have to make your bosses money, right? And you have to go out there and do it against your will. That's whether you bagging groceries, you know, you ringing up groceries.
That just
you,
sounds crazy though, the way you put it.
making fries at McDonald's or whatever you're doing, right? You're making your bosses money, or you are putting in the labor to make them some money. But I think in Stephen A. Smith's field at the time when he put that, I don't think Stephen A. Smith knew his power at that time, you know, or a little bit before that. If he would have came to YouTube way back, even when the algorithm was different, how many views he could have got. So many people were reacting to Stephen A. Smith's videos, even the little videos he put up, you know, about the Dallas Cowboys and all that would get a lot of views. And we see now that ESPN puts those videos up with Stephen A. Smith after the Dallas Cowboys lose. He put his video on social media. They hurry up and put it on their YouTube channel. And I think a lot clicked for Stephen A. when Pat McAfee came over with a licensing deal. I think Shannon probably would have got the same type of deal for his nighttime content. Had he not gotten in trouble, they probably would have asked him to come over. But the thing is, build out a platform, make them come to you. They came to Cam for that reason, because one thing Cam was doing, and I think this is why they really came after Cam before they let him go. Remember, Cam was covering the Super Bowl. He was going out to Colorado with Prime and them whenever it was at its peak, right? And people was wanting that content, and Cam was getting that content, so they was like, okay, let's bring Cam into the fold. But when it's no longer profitable, you know, they will cut you off. They probably would have never cut Shannon Sharp because he gets viewership. But you know, whatever happened to him happened. But I would say that, guys, make sure you keep your platform going. This could be a blessing for Ryan Clark. He could do many other things with the pivot. Instead of just having that podcast be the main thing, start to flesh that out a little more. You see all the smoke. They have like that boxing show. They got the show with Mad Max. Start to get new content out there under your umbrella. They'll come knocking again. And it's just business, right? So you see how they wanted your Pivot podcast to do something totally different on ESPN Plus for MEAC, what do you call it? MEAC Media Day, right? And you see him on there with Michael Vick and all those guys. Make them have to come to you and y'all partner up for certain situations, but don't just go to them as a worker ever again. I know Pat McAfee do different things in College Game Day and all that, but his contract is favorable to him. They wanted the time slot that he was occupying, that Jalen and Jacoby used to have. People was going over to YouTube and watching Pat McAfee at that time. You know, so yeah, man. And this for any content creator. You're going to see a lot of people. Think about people that's come to YouTube. You got Marcellus Wiley. He was on ESPN once upon a time, then on Fox. You got Jason Whitlock. You know, however you feel about him, he was one of the on-air personalities. Now, Ryan Clark's going to come over. I wonder what type of content he's going to do outside of, you know, just the normal podcast. But you have Manuel Acho. And like I said, you know, Shannon Sharp, that's all he and Ocho is doing now. You know what I'm saying, with Joe Johnson.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm about to say, not bringing
YouTube
them
is
up
the
is
place.
crazy.
And yeah, people, you could say YouTube is your boss. They take a certain cut, you know, off the top anyway. But what I will say is it's not
forgot
an
about that.
exclusive platform, right? You could take that over to TikTok. You can take it over to Instagram. You can put it on Facebook Watch. You can put it on several other platforms that you can monetize on. And also, when you have your own platform, you can license out the footage, whether somebody's doing a documentary, somebody's doing a movie or whatever, and they want a piece of some of your content, they can come and get that. So, hey, man, let this be a lesson to everybody going forward, about how quick you sign that dotted line and how long you sign for. Let it be on your terms. Is it worth a long-term deal with these networks? Ryan Clark said he didn't get paid what, he felt like he was worth. A lot of people mad at him, call him race baiter and all this type of stuff, but just make sure you get, what you feel is favorable for you, and not what you feel is favorable for you in that moment, because that contract typically runs for a few years. Not what you're worth at that moment, but project what you're going to be worth when the contract ends and make sure that dollar amount line up with that, especially if you have any position of leverage, like someone who's made millions like Ryan Clark should.
All right, man. That's basically it, bro. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm out, bro. No cap.